All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lovers of freedom all over the world. Wherever you're joining us from today, you're highly welcome to your one and only YouTube platform. Your one and only YouTube channel that gives you the back to back news and information on things happening in the land. Please subscribe to this channel if you've not yet subscribed, and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you can get notified whenever we drop our spanking news. Straight on the news, we'll carry on for you. Breaking news. Supreme Court orders continuation of indigenous people or Biafran leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial. Yesterday was the trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We were hoping that judgment would come in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who has been held in Communicado under the DSS custody for the past 2 years. The reality is that the truth, has actually come out, and the truth is that it is now clear, it is now glaring clear, that the Nigerian government does not want to release Nnamdi Kanu. That is just the reality, because if they cannot give a straight judgment, in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, having checked and analyzed every issue, on the whole trial, having seen that Nnamdi Kanu has not actually committed any crime. The reality here is that the Nigerian government are just circumlocuting. They are going around the whole corners, trying to delay and continue to keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu under DSS custody. It is actually a very it is actually an issue, for the judiciary, because it has reviewed their incompetency. People have been saying how incompetent that the judiciary are, in handling some cases in Nigeria. The reality is that they continue to prove that they are really incompetent in handling issues. What are you holding Nnamdi Kanu for? What are you still keeping the trial for? Why will the trial continue? Why keep wasting time, in delivering judgment? Why are you delaying the judgment? The reality is that they have nothing against Nnamdi Kanu. Everything they are doing is to make sure that they continue to keep Nnamdi Kanu under the DSS custody, just to buy more time to do whatever. They are hoping that he will actually die in DSS custody. But the reality is that no matter how long they keep him, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. That's just the reality. But we could go straight to the news, because this matter weak everybody for Biafran land, because everybody was waiting for this jubilation today, because with all evidences, with all everything we've seen, it was clear that Nnamdi Kanu was going to be released today. But without wasting much of your time, we could give you the news in detail. The news reads: the Supreme Court on Friday ordered the continuation of the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, on terrorism charges. The case, which started in 2015, had been put on hold at the Federal High Court in Abuja after the Court of Appeal dismissed the charges in a judgment delivered in October 2022. The Court of Appeal in Abuja had anchored its decision dismissing the charges on the illegality of the extraordinary rendition of Mr. Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021 to continue his trial. A 5-member panel of the Supreme Court, led by Kudirat Kekere Ekun, declared on Friday that Mr. Kanu's forcible repatriation from Kenya to Nigeria is illegal. However, the court, in the lead judgment prepared by Tijani Abubakar, ruled that there is no Nigerian law that prohibits illegally obtained evidence for the trial of a defendant. The late judgment of the Supreme Court was prepared by Mr. Abubakar, but read on his behalf by Emmanuel Agim. The Court of Appeal was wrong to say that the Federal High Court can no longer try Mr. Kanu. The court held the appeal is allowed and the cross appeal is dismissed. In the unanimous decision, the Supreme Court said Mr. Kanu's forcible repatriation from Kenya in June 2021 by the Nigerian government did not rob the trial court of jurisdiction to entertain the indigenous people or Biafran leaders' trial. Our law is that evidence illegality obtained is valid before the court. A violation of Mr. Kanu's rights should have been by way of civil proceeding. That is not our law for now, Mr. Abubakar declared. He also ruled that there is no legislation that provides in Nigeria that trial should stop where the prosecution does something illegal against the defendant while standing trial. There is a civil remedy, Mr. Abubakar said. The judgment also implies an effective reversal of the previous decision of the Court of Appeal ordering the release of Mr. Kanu from detention. The background story: the Nigerian government had repatriated Mr. Kanu from Kenya after the Federal High Court in Abuja ordered the indigenous people or Biafran leaders' arrest for jumping bail in 2017. Mr. Kanu was being tried before Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja for terrorism. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on 13th October 2022 dismissed the terrorism and treasonable felony charges filed against Mr. Kanu on the basis of his agitation for the secession of a Biafran Republic, comprising the 5 southeast states and parts of neighboring states from Nigeria. A 3-member panel of the appellate court led by Oludotun Adefope Okoje dismissed the terrorism and treasonable felony charges against Mr. Kanu. The court had ordered Mr. Kanu's release from detention after striking out a 7-count charge pending before Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja. But instead of complying with the appellate court's decision ordering Mr. Kanu's unconditional release, the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation (AGF) filed an appeal at the Supreme Court. Then the AGF, Abubakar Malami, filed an application for a stay of execution of the Court of Appeal's verdict on the separatist leader. But on 28 October 2022, another 3-member panel of the Court of Appeal, headed by Haruna Samani, halted the execution of its judgment, which freed Mr. Kanu on terrorism charges. The government had applied that the execution of the judgment be suspended pending the resolution of his appeal filed at the Supreme Court. Mr. Shamani, in the ruling, held that the counter affidavit filed against the government application by Mr. Kanu's legal team, led by Mr. Ozekome, was misleading. Mr. Kanu has been leading secession campaign of Southeast region, parts of South Nigeria, for an independent state of Biafra. The federal government has consistently blamed the indigenous people of Biafran separatist activities for the violence in the southeastern region of the coast. Mr. Kanu, the indigenous people of Biafran leader, IPOB leader, has been in SSS detention since June 2021 when he was repatriated from Kenya to Nigeria. He was first arrested in 2015 under the administration of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. And that is that on the issue and the backstory of Nnamdi Kanu's ordeal in the hands of the Nigerian government. The reality be say all this rigmarole wey dem dey do, all this round table talk wey be say dem dey decide, all this round table decision wey the Nigerian government dey give, all not just to hold Nnamdi Kanu incommunicado under the DSS custody. The reality be say nothing with the Nigerian government fit come out talk say na the crime wey Nnamdi Kanu commit. They can't come out. They can't say anything. And that is why, we keep talking about the injustice, that we are seeing in the country. Yet, instead of the judiciary to amend, at least to make things very easy for the country, yet they continue to do evil. They continue to give wrong judgment. Why at this point in time will Nnamdi Kanu still be under DSS custody? That is the big question. The whole thing is not even making sense anymore at this point in time, because they are not even coming up with any evidence or any good fact or any good reason to continue to keep Nnamdi Kanu under DSS custody. All they are just saying is mere talk. We know the pattern, we know the gimmick of the Nigerian government. And that is why they have not been straightforward in handling their issues. One prayer we'll keep on praying is that let nothing happen to Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody, because it will be a disaster, that the Nigerian government will not be able to handle. We pray that freedom, would come from any angle, for Nnamdi Kanu. When I don't hear waiting the Nigerian court don't talk concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case. They have decided to continue the case of Nnamdi Kanu till further notice. It is not actually a good one, because we know their plan, we know their gimmick. But at the same time, what can we do? All we can do at this point in time is to be optimistic and be prayerful that at the end of all the whole rigmarole and all the whole delay that the Nigerian government has been delaying, that freedom comes to Nnamdi Kanu. On that note, to say thank you once again for joining us on our YouTube channel, Exposed News TV. Thank you for choosing Exposed News TV to get your updated news and information. We'll keep on giving you the updated news and information as it happen for the land. God bless you for joining us once again.